This is Space Engineers. I am Glendin ThePackRat. This is Captain's Log, Episode 7. Well, the jalopy is, I've been sort of calling it that, is coming together. I took it and mined out all 5 of those little teeny asteroids that were here, and they're completely gone. The only thing I have, and I wanted to back up and show you, is this big roid sitting right here. The big one with all the iron, and that one over there, and all the rest of them we can find. Well, I started putting the drill into the big patch of fuel here, the big patch of uranium, and then I noticed something. Wow, and this is what I noticed. We're full. The Earthbreaker drill is not really emptying. Have good amount in the reactor. The refinery is slap full, trying a little bit at a time to eke out some of the stuff that's in there. It's got nowhere to go, really. The moisture reclamator is working on ice. The assembler is full. And yeah, of course, the oxygen is still going to the oxygen generator. Well, here's the problem. I'm going to have to turn it on and do some welding. Remember how we were auto welding things and I was putting the welders along the side? I had the first one up. Let's turn that on and see what's going on here. So let's see how much we can weld, see how many parts we can get out of the assembler. I think in the assembler I have it working on plate. So we don't really have any room. So I'm going to wind up I'm going to see how far this welds with the plate that it has there. And then I'm going to go to the edge of that and put another welder in. And I'm going to have to weld that a cargo tank in the back because we don't have any more room. Oh, we're getting solar panels. Interesting. I could flip it over. There really is no up-down in space. But I could flip it over so the sun hits the panels. And then we're going to need to build batteries and put a two groupings of batteries with a timer on it to switch it back and forth every 20-30 minutes or so when the batteries get exhausted. Depending on that time span will depend on how fast we're using the power and how fast it recharges. And then I can save the uranium for emergencies. So we are welding 2 panels. We're still going to need tons of this. Let's put another 10,000 in there. I'm holding shift and I'm doing 100 at a time. Now for inventory, that's the drill, and it's pretty much that full. And this is the refinery. Now it's cranking away, and it has somewhere to go because we're using it. I need to get past this iron so that we can get that in it next. That fuel will just go to the reactor. But our biggest problem is, wow, that's moving really quick here. It's popping in, popping out, popping in, trying to make the new line here. So it's being moved through the assembler very fast. There is no cargo container as of yet. So yeah, our conveyor sorter is keeping the stone out of the reactor. The refinery. There's no stone in here, which is perfect. We didn't need any more. problem is there is just so much iron here that I don't think we'll ever get through it to get the uranium in there. The uranium would just go into the reactor and save us a place for it. Come on, switch over. I wonder if I did this, if it would do it. Put it back in the drill. Oh, it did. Now I can process uranium. What if I put some of this other stuff back in the drill for right now? Wait on it for later. Put the stone last. The stone is actually going into the moisture reclamator. Stack that up. Yes, we do need a ton of that. We just have too much at the moment because we don't have any other stuff processed. Gold. Let's try gold first. Cobalt. Definitely will need some more of that. Stack up the gold. Alright, I want to get a few more other things there, but instead of iron, because we're using it very fast, but still we don't have room for anything. The uranium ore will go straight to the reactor as it's going here, and the reactor can hold 10 million. It's only got 5 in it, so all the uranium ore that we have right now will process straight to the reactor, which is what I wanted. So exactly what are you building really fast? I'm gonna have to wait a little while. I think it's building outward, the outermost first, which is telling me, yeah, okay, that's what it's doing. It's telling me I can turn this off a moment. I can gather some plate, steel plate. Good. Just need a little bit, just a few pieces. I go back here and plunk down another one in line with it, so that when I turn it on, it will build itself. So I'll do 7. It's not a temporary ship. And then we'll turn that on, it'll build the rest of the ship. See how far that one reaches? It goes all the way out here, that's just within range. And that works out very well. We have the whole ship covered now. So basically I can do 1, 2, 3... welders. So when I turn them on, it will build that over there, providing I actually have the parts for it. Yep, and then we can turn that on respectively. There it is. And now since I turned the other ones on before that one was built, it hasn't been turned on, so now they're all on. See, if you have one of these off and you flip that switch, they cycle back and forth. One of them will always be off as the other two are on, type of thing. So now that one can be built in the back, which would be the container, and it will help us out a lot to be able to get that. But since we have a little area, we're gonna need lights. Do we have enough for lights? What do I need to build lights? I need lights on the front of this thing. Let's do something like, oops, that is the wrong color. Let's try, it'd be difficult to see. Let's try something like that and put some lights on it so I can see what I'm doing. Like I said, this is just a jalopy. This is just a piece of junk that we're using as a tool to build a real ship. Let's turn that on, see what builds. See, the one in the back is on now and building. They will eventually get built. I'm going to turn the drill on, go a little bit in here, go forward a bit, and then move it around so that we get uranium going. Much more uranium. I think I should mine this entire area out before I move on to anywhere else, because uranium is one of the most needed mineral in the world here in the galaxy. Uranium is like ice. The two of those give you life here. So I'm just going to waggle back and forth, up and down, side to side, and all everything, and tear out as much of this as possible. Eventually I'll get some lights on and can actually see what I'm doing, but I'm just going to go back and forth and grind up as much of this as possible. Then I'm going to need an absolute ton of iron, which is right there in front of me. And this is what I'm going to work on for the next few days of my captain's log. Is just eating this asteroid. Is finish building this and eating this asteroid, and then taking this whole Megillah and maybe putting a welder on the back of it and another seat on the back of it facing the opposite direction, so that I don't have to build with it backwards, and I will use it to build the real ship I need to build. So basically I can go ahead and mine with it, build the parts, and then automatically put it down in whatever I'm trying to build. Which means I probably need to build some sort of station on top of the asteroid here in the sun with solar panels and stuff on it. It might be one more step I need to do, would be a type of a small platform station. Something with extra cargo pods, something that can run the refinery or multiple refineries continuously, that I can just come up and dock with and drop stuff off. So I'm undecided whether I want to go straight to shipbuilding or do a intermediary platform to get all the parts together. Probably the platform's the best idea. And there are other asteroids nearby that I need to prospect out. Possibly building a very fast, small ship with an ore detector just to go over there, fly around them, and drop a waypoint saying what's there. So when I need this kind of ore, whatever ore I need, I can just go there and pick it up. Like I said, I'm going to have to put a list of mods on the page so you can see what I'm actually using. Tested these mods out for a long time, months by mind you. The ones we're actually using. There were a couple of them I did test out for a long while, but since the last patch on last Thursday, they seem to be broken. So I got my mod list down to like 21. I just added one more, which is 22. I added that hydrogen farm next to the oxygen farm. And I'm going to experiment with hydrogen thrusters, which means you need hydrogen to move around. And as I said before, they're going to come out with planets soon, very soon, and weeks. Mind you, they were supposed to be already out. I guess they're finalizing different things. And when you restart one of these survival games, from what I understand, you're going to be starting on the planet and trying to find a way off the planet. So, I'm not sure about that. I may blueprint whatever ship I make, restart the world and put it into orbit or near the planet, and let it sit there, and I will have to try to get back to it after landing on the planet and not being able to get back off of it. I will then have to build myself a base, build myself planetary mining, and build a ship capable of leaving the planet to get back to my ship. Mind you, as I'm doing a little drilling here, the welders are still on, and they are still welding away on the ship. This jalopy. It looks like we're about to get lights on in a few minutes. That's what it started building. I keep watching the rating stations. The one that's 27 out and 47 out. They haven't moved. They haven't gotten closer. They haven't created a rating party, which is a good thing. I don't think I could repel them. I'd have to run. The mining carriages have popped into view. Wow, not only 9,000 out. Looks like we're gonna get lights in a minute. If we had to have the required parts, let's not smash that into there. But we don't have the parts for that. Let's check production. What do we actually have here? Gonna have to try for some of these, some of those, some of these. Let's see what we're out of. Making those lights, I bet you some of those too. Can we put that in front of it? I bet one of those. Let's do a little bit more of those. Oh, maybe not. Let's see, we need some of those somewhere. Yep. And we need some of those somewhere, I'm guessing. No nickel. Oh no, we're out of nickel again. Do we have, let me see. Do we have any nickel anywhere that needs to be processed, that needs to be put up? You mean that asteroid that was the only place we found nickel? It wasn't very much. Wow. There is, I'm going to have problems here if there's no nickel. There's none in the refinery. We haven't even a drill head. I don't see any nickel. So you know what we're going to be doing. We're on the search for nickel. Wow. So, let's get a little bit more of this cheddar and we'll go over to one of the other asteroids and we'll see about getting nickel. We'll find it now that we have ore detector. Might be a lot easier. There might be a lot of it there that I didn't see because I wasn't using a true ore detector. In fact, let's go do that now. I'm going to come back to this anyway and probably eat this whole asteroid eventually. This is Galactic Center, by the way. Now the problem is that I'm starting to experience is the more you put on a ship, the heavier it becomes. The more inertia it has. And I've only got a couple of maneuvering thrusters here. which means it's very hard to move now because I've got a lot of it on there. So I'm starting to think, wow, there goes that piece. I'm starting to think that maybe I should start with, let me ogle around here and see where I'm going to go. Oh, figures, I'm completely upside down and backwards here. I'm going to go over to that one and give it a good look with the ore detector. If not, then we'll go to the next one. I'm going to keep the just working on what we need. Pretty sure we're gonna need more than that, whatever we're built. So as it takes and then lots more of that, so let's put more of that in there and let it keep building while we search for nickel. Actually turn it off for a bit, just let it build up a little bit. Oh no, let's just use it right away, we don't have room. Like I said, I may have to put more thrusters on this thing. So the trick is never aim directly at an asteroid. And you can get it up to speed, then you can save a little some ships accelerate very fast and take a long time to slow down. So you never aim directly at an asteroid, otherwise you might wind up a bug on a windshield. And yeah. We're going to have to put more thrusters forward and back to get going, to speed up and slow down. In fact, why don't we do that now? We really need it now. Let's turn that off a second. Let's get a hold of some steel plate. Are you still moving? No, we're still moving. Slowly, but we're still moving. See how long it takes to slow down? With just that one thruster. I'm going to put another set of thrusters next to those. Yeah. In fact, I'll take those off and I'll actually put them on those other thrusters, and then I'll put two in the back. That'll work. Okay, we're stopped. I'm going to leave those thrusters there. I'm going to put, let's how about three? We'll put three of these. Three of these thrusters here to be auto built, and I'll go in the back and put three thrusters down, and let's put them like right here. Make it look almost more like a ship. What else? What came in or left? Oh, one of them left. Usually you get a little lag spike like that when something comes in or leaves. Now, what do we need here? Interior plate? Is that why that's not built? Okay. We got stuff for interior plate. What do you mean, no? What do you mean we got none left? Oh, inventory is full, so let's turn it back on. That's where the stuff's going in inventory. We're getting built. We're having lights. We have lights. We're still getting everything built. Look at that. Just waiting for that cargo container back there to get built. Then we won't have a problem with this stuff going anywhere. We can just do what we want. And Okay, the problem with those are, I think they are, no, the one in the front might get those. The welder, if it gets back, if it gets behind that red ring on it, it doesn't work. It doesn't weld. So I'm thinking the one facing backwards is going to catch those thrusters. Oh, there goes our container, our cargo container. I know I'm pointed a little away from the asteroid, so let's, military mine layer, yeah, that's what the thing was. It's coming slower, it's coming closer as we slowly accelerate. I will eventually build a very large ship capable of eating massive asteroids, by slicing big pieces of them off and just chewing it up. I built this ship partially once before on a server, and I plan on building it here. It'll be bristling with weapons, so I can come up to these raiding stations and just blowing them away. And we're almost at 10. 10 meters per second, and I think we should hold there. Because we're going to probably pass this before we can slow down. I see gold, but not much else, even if we just eat stone. I think it's time to start making more moisture reclamators and putting them in line with everything. The one doesn't seem to be handling the amount of stone we have coming in. Also, we're going to need well, this is why we need a station now. Or something we can tow behind us and then leave at a specific area. We may want that. We're going to turn off inertial dampers and coast a bit. We will probably pass this, but I'm waiting for the ore detector to turn on and tell us how far we are from it. But yeah, we're going to pass it. It's going to be a little up and to the left. So we can coast this way for a bit. Yeah, we will probably be building something, put a merge block on the back or something and start building there so that we can tow it around with us and then just drop it off. Something that'll have its own thrusters, its own everything in it. And then we'll be moving that one around, and this one will be towing behind us because it'll become the smaller of the two. Yeah, we need another rock crusher here. This is just a rudimentary mining survival ship. Still no no ore detection. And we didn't get the thrusters made to slow us down yet. Not sure what they need, other than maybe thruster components. I know I'm not going to hit anything, so it doesn't matter if I watch us slow down. Let's start with that, see if that goes anywhere. Yes, we can make those. And they're going right to the thrusters, so yes, we need those. Hopefully we have these. What else do we need to build? Motors. Motors. Without motors, we're doomed. We're doomed without motors. I can't build that cargo container, I bet you, without motors. As soon as we stop, I'll go back and check. Also, we're going to have more of this. More of these as well. We're out of cobalt and gold. We have it, it's just not processed. So now we're stopped. We're going to turn toward it. Looks like we might have more uranium. The problem is the ore detectors don't detect too far out. Azimuth, the mod, came out with ore detectors that were really, really high powered, but that mod seems to have problems at the moment. It was broken from the last patch. I haven't revisited that mod yet. So let's get close enough to it to do a little chewing on to see if we can get our ore detector working on it. That definitely is more uranium. For all I know, the whole core of this thing is uranium. Usually uranium is one of the things that it's hard to find, but we may be finding uranium in every rock out here, and nickel could be the hardest thing to find. Let's not get going too fast because we can't stop. Only had that one thruster stopping us. One thruster getting us going. What I could do, could put another drill on the top, another drill on the bottom of this mess and bore right through some of these asteroids. Sort of be a vertical one. But then again, we're talking, we need to have more thrusters. It's going to be a nightmare to start drilling into. And I can't stop in time, and I'm going to crash into it. So let's turn it on and actually drill into it. And I'm looking at that, that's just stone. And let's go up a little bit, down a little bit, and cut this piece away so that we don't smash into it when we go a little farther into it. Bore ourselves a little bit of a hole. We could start creating, yeah, we'd need a ton of motors. Without that nickel, we can't even create more drill heads. Remember, we can store 26 million in the drill head. Doesn't mean we're having it processed that fast. It looks like there's iron in the core. Oh, it would be nice if I actually turned on the ore detector. Give it a second. And it'll tell us what we got in here. Cobalt. Iron, gold, ice. I don't see nickel. I don't see uranium either. There it is. I know we were right next to a big patch of it, but I wasn't seeing it. Well, now. There's a hole through there too. Now, it doesn't mean that there isn't. This is a very short-ranged ore detector. I wonder, is there a range I can adjust on this? That's really what they need to add. Broadcast using antennas. Nope, no range. You know what we could do though? There is a mod that allows you to find things. Derelict ships and such. We could, let me go straight down into this cheddar while we're here. We could try to find a derelict ship or such and pull the motors out of that. That would entail us building an antenna. Now look at that. There's a hole through there, like some big worm ate a hole in it. Let's just move downward and just eat this stone. We're going to need it anyway. Cut through the stone without breaking it off. If you hit the back yellow piece, you've got problems. Anyway, looks like we're at the end of our episode. We've reached our time limit. Thank you for coming on the journey with me, and we will begin the next episode in a moment.